Hello, everybody. I think I'm live. It seemed like it was taking forever to go live. Happy Monday. We're in Sagittarius moon now. I just went through my lunar return all morning. Having a talk here with my emotions this morning. I hope you guys are doing well. We're doing all signs today. Their energy feelings right now towards the situation and intentions towards you this week. I'm thinking I'm going to do for each zodiac sign, the Aries through Pisces portion. I will probably do if you're in no contact with somebody, just to kind of break it up a little bit. So the reading will be just of the person who's on your mind, or if there's anybody in your energy. And the Aries through Pisces portion will be if you're in no contact. I'll see if there's any contact coming in. You can tell by the energy of the card. And it may give me just a message of what might be going on with the no contact person. So I'm going to try and keep it pretty quick today, right? I've been aiming for under 2 hours, because the message comes through right away. And, I just tend to go in deep, and I just want to kind of tone it back a little bit. So we're going to try and get through these today a little bit quicker. So don't be like, oh my God, they're so short, or what. They're not. They're going to be full. I love to do my readings. I'm not going to take away the quality. All right, guys. So we have I'm celebrating St. Patty's Day all month. So we do see I have Happy St. Patrick's Day. Yes, I know it's not Patrick's Day yet, but we're coming towards that, and the spring equinox. So I'm celebrating all the green all month long. All right. Aries. We are gonna let me look for the banner. Let me get the banner up. Aries I guess I'm gonna start Aries at 222. I thought 333, but nope, 222. All right. Let's see. Hello, Angel. Hello, Angela. Bonacci, Lori. All right, guys. Thank you for being here with me. I know you can't see my face today, but I didn't feel like doing my hair, to be honest with you. The girl, what's up? All right. And so these owls and this setup looks a lot better than my face right now. All right, Aries. What's going on with your person? Let's see their energy, their challenge, how they view you, and what's shifting this week, any intentions, right? Again, remember, I'm going to be doing no contact for Aries through Pisces. So Aries, we have the Tower showing up for you right now. And I thought I just put your banner up, but it didn't go up. Overall energy, the Tower and the Empress card underneath that. See, it's some major breakthrough here in trust, maybe some revelation or realizing some truth this week around your situation. All right, I see what's going on here. I'm sorry, but there is a off. I keep hitting the timer. I think that's what's going on. There's a timer button there I never saw before, but that's what I was doing, guys. I just figured out the problem. All right, so Aries, I'm going to restart you I guess we were starting at 3:33, but so I'm just updating the time for you so you don't have to listen to everything I just said. You do have the overall energy of the Tower card showing up for you and the Empress underneath that. So it does tell me some sort of truth or trust issue being resolved this week, maybe some sort of revelation about a situation or some sort of breakthrough in a situation this week. So let's take a look at your person's energy. I see the Two of Wands, all right? Their energy towards this connection. It's like, I know you're out there. I know you're there. I know we got to make a choice. I know I'm feeling pulled. The spark's been lit. But there is some anticipation that's happening here with your person. It's like, what do I do? I've got it. It's like the ball's in their court. They know what they need to do and they need to make a choice. And so that could be what's happening this week is there's a breakthrough in communication. And taking the next step towards this connection. What's their biggest challenge right now, though? I see the Magician card. All right, how do they view you? I'm going to get the whole picture. I see the Six of Swords. So they may be wondering if you're still even interested or attracted to them, or if you're, kind of over it already, or maybe you just kind of were drive-by, right? I don't know. Maybe you were interested 1 minute. Maybe you seem like you've chilled out a little bit. You've been waiting for this person to respond to you. I can see the challenges. You are attracted to this person, but it does feel like maybe you're questioning whether or not they are you. It seems like you both are kind of going back and forth forth here with the attraction part. Are we both wanting the same thing? Do we both want to do this? So your person here, it looks like, they're actually question whether or not you're going to stay the long haul, or if you're just interested in them right now and it's only temporary for you. Right? Because it seems like they're feeling like your energy is pulling away from them, but that actually can be benefiting you. I want you to know that if you are feeling like I'm ready to move on from something, always follow your gut with that, because that's your spirit talking to you, saying the way to get through this problem is to just move forward and keep doing what you're doing, because this person here is obviously in a place that you can't do anything to control their actions right now. They need to figure out what their choice is going to be. And if they feel you pulling away, they'll definitely, especially with that Magician card, Gemini energy, they'll definitely feel the pull, because there's an attraction there and there's a magnetic pull. And so they will feel the difference. So what's shifting for them this week? I see the King of Cups, somebody getting more in their feelings for you, starting to really, so I started reading that, I said quality and I said reality, starting to realize the depth of this connection. Wow. So let's go back to this revelation. You have this energy of somebody finally breaking through the barriers, maybe finally opening up and realizing that, there is something about this connection. They do have feelings for you and they don't want to see you just drive by and move on. All right. So somebody could be really stepping up, to the plate this week when it comes to expressing their emotions and really wanting to get closer to you. What should you do regardless? Whether or not this person does anything this week? I see, well, that's the bottom card. You have Aries and Scorpio really showing up for you, Mars the energy. So Mars tells me that there's going to be a lot of action and a breakthrough too, right? So Mars likes to confront things. So it looks like your person knows they need to confront something with you. So Eight of Swords, well, this is what you need to do regardless. And this is not take action, or don't be afraid to move on. But this here is saying don't take action out of fear, is what I was going to say. Don't, retreat or be afraid to move on or do your thing because you're worried or fearful that this person is not going to reach out to you. All right. That's not what this is showing me. You have more power, influence over this person than you think. All right. So this is kind of toning down the ruminating, overthinking the situation, worrying that you did something wrong, or starting to reflect and think there's something wrong with you. All right. All these things are nay and no. All right. So it's all about your person just needing to make a choice this week on whether or not they're going to open up and express their feelings towards you. Now you have a Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio energy, so you can tell your person definitely is in deep with their feelings. All right. But we're going to look at Aries through Pisces real quick and see. Now, if you're in no contact, the intention with your person here looks like it's already kind of answering your question. It looks like somebody's, like, could be a day or two, somebody here getting ready to reach out and communicate with you. This Magician card, somebody feeling a very strong pull, and you just need to keep doing your thing, moving forward. But let's see, if you have been in no contact with somebody, I'm just going to see the energy. I'm trying to keep it separate with you for the Aries through Pisces portion. Let's see, Aries, Nine of Pentacles. You may get some success here this week with an Aries, grounding in on the connection, all right, taking practical action towards reaching out to you. Looks like somebody, though, does want to be independent, so be careful of that. You may be wanting a relationship, Aries, but somebody may be saying, I just kind of want a part-time, Taurus, I see possible communication with a Taurus if you've been waiting on the answers. Looks like they're coming in with the truth and stepping up, right? So we do see possible communication with a Taurus. Gemini, I see Knight of Cups, all right? So they're playing hard to get, right? So be careful with Gemini. They're still interested in you, but they could be just trying to play their be strategic. That's what I got, right? Trying to play the game, and they got their eye on you and just waiting for the right move, right? Waiting to make the right move. So you could actually get messages from a Gemini. Cancer, Queen of Pentacles. Now again, I'm getting the same kind of earthy energy. They care about you. They may be focusing on their own well-being, but it does look like they could be investing or wanted to talk or connect with you. Maybe even there is a little bit of just finding closure of some sense, right? It's being responsible though, taking action with the Cancer. So unless you know that your Cancer is definitely with somebody else or doing something else, you know, with their work or health or whatever, you know, this does show signs of stepping up to the plate and connecting with you. But otherwise, you know, if there's a block, you know there's a block there. Leo, Page of Pentacles. So Leo reaching out. It could be a short conversation with the Leo. Virgo, Queen of Wands. We're seeing, you know, there could be another person at play. Remember, you're in no contact for a reason. If you know there's no other person, don't look for it. But I am seeing here, there's passion here with you. They could take action towards reaching out to you, connecting with you. Queen of Wands is somebody that can surprise you, right? Out of the blue. Libra, I see the Strength card. They're still kind of holding back a little bit, but you got something there, right? So there's some healing energy with you and a Libra. Scorpio, there could be a reunion with you and Scorpio. So I do see potential hanging out, getting together, or reaching out. Sagittarius, I see the Nine of Cups, right? So it looks like you might be finally hearing from your Sagittarius. Capricorn, same thing, the Star card. It might take a little bit more time with Capricorn, but it's looking good. It looks like, you know, there's some happy news coming your way. Aquarius, Seven of Wands. There may be a block still here with an Aquarius, but it doesn't mean you won't hear from them eventually. And Pisces, I see the Devil card, right? So there's still a strong attachment between you and a Pisces. They may be tempted to reach out. It could be sexual, could be this pattern that you guys have. So just be aware of that the pattern is still there if they reach out. Nothing's changed. All right, let's see my Tauruses. Get comfy. All right. All right, so there is a timer here. I have to shut it off. Let's see if I shut it off. There I go. I guess my program did something new. It put a timer so I can put it up and have it go down by itself, but I did not know this. So now we know the magic behind Taurus last week, and this is one of my favorite numbers for Taurus anyways, 1212. All right, my Taurus, my Taurus, my Tauri, my Taurians, my Tauruses, whatever. You know, everybody's got some way to say it. But just my bulls. Let's see. We're looking at their energy, their challenge, how they view you. And what's shifting for them this week, if any intentions, right? And then the Aries through Pisces portion, Taurus, will be if you're in no contact with somebody, okay? So I'm going to keep that part a little bit separate for you today. So you get 2 additional kind of messages. All right. All right. So we have a King of Wands showing up for you. All right. So you got somebody here opening up their heart, being boss, big boss. Sometimes this brings pride with it. We got the Moon card, somebody not always being clear with their emotions. It feels like, you know, somebody here is uncertain about what's going on. All right. But it doesn't mean, look, it's a weekly reading. The Moon card, maybe the moon is messing up your person's energy, right? Maybe they're starting to, you know, they're getting their fears about the future. They don't know what the future looks like. And then they start to freak out a little bit, right? But they pull back their energy because the King of Wands isn't going to want you to know what's going on, right? They got some pride, they got ego, but you can see that they have a lot of emotion going on, and maybe they just don't know how to express their emotions, right? So they may tend to pull back and they want to act more confident. The way I look at this is sometimes when people act more stoic, that means there's more going on beneath the surface. But if a person's acting stoic, it's really because they don't like to be vulnerable. So we can't push at them, right? And that sounds like you in a way too, especially the masculine Tauruses. You know what I mean? Because we are picking up a masculine energy here. And it looks like you really, you know, somebody really wants to express their feelings, but they're not very comfortable with it. All right. They're not very comfortable with it. Now, the moon card can be maybe your person takes things, they just go deep. Sometimes they take things personal. They get very sensitive, right? Every little thing that changes or happens. 1 minute they're this, the next minute they're that. All right. And you're a fixed energy. You need stability. You need somebody, come on, stay calm. Don't mess with my peace, right? Well, too bad, because you like a fire sign, or you like somebody that has a lot of fire in them. And if you like somebody with a lot of fire in them, you better get used to get in the, what do you call it? Cattle prodded, right? Because that's what the fire is going to do. And they're going to test you. And the more they test you, it's because the more they care about you, right? So that's what I got for my Tauruses. Let's see your person. You got Aries, Leo, Sag. It doesn't mean they're fire, but it does show me they have a lot of fire. Look at your person. All right. So we are seeing their energy towards this situation is the 5 of Cups, which means they're still mulling over something that happened between the two of you. All right. So they're being moody. Your person's being moody. They have a chance, maybe you just go get them a hanky, leave them alone for a minute, let them process their feelings. It really does look like your person here has a hard time letting go of something that is that cattle prodded. It looks like your person here is just having a hard time letting go of something that happened in the past. Now, it doesn't mean it has to do with you, but it does mean that this person tends to let the past get to them. Bottom line, what's their biggest challenge? The Queen of Cups, expressing their feelings, but this person really needs emotional attention. Wow. All right. So this person, you got more Cancer energy here. You have more water energy, Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You have a person right now and who is highly sensitive right now. Very highly sensitive. And they may not know how to take care of their feelings. And that King of Wands can be somebody here that just doesn't know what to do. So they hide from them. They hide from you. They may not know what to say just yet, right? Very emotional energy. I have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio showing up for you too. So a lot of fire and a lot of emotion right now. Maybe that's too much for you to handle, Taurus, right now. You tend to you're a very emotional sign too, but it's like you're different though. You're more grounded. You're more like, and you're wanting to connect with water and fire, right? You're being challenged by somebody and you just want somebody to be consistent with you constantly. You don't like disruptions. But I'm here to tell you this person here is challenging you to to break out of certain things that you think should be, or your person's really sensitive. Let's see how they view you. The 9 of Pentacles. Look at this, right? Maybe they're very appreciative that you do hold space for them, that you are very grounded. So I'm going to give you a little bit of wisdom here, or maybe advice. Hopefully it's wise. I don't know what the hell, but I feel like right now, Taurus, I want you to this week, if your person seems like they're being a little bit overreactive or emotional or super sensitive, I want you to know that it doesn't look like it has anything to do with you, but you need to ride the wave and be as calm and grounded as you can. All right. Now, I mean, if somebody's manipulating you, playing emotional games, I'm not getting that from this. I'm just getting somebody who's highly sensitive, and this person could stress you out or irritate you. So it might be better to kind of ground yourself and go do something on your own, do something by yourself, rather than try to persist and get this person to open up, right? Because they need to open up on their own, all right? So really, I'm feeling here that your grounded energy is very important this week. Now, what's shifting with your person this week? Look at this, lovers. It's going to happen. It's going to change. It's going to shift. You see your person here, they maybe they need more attention from you. Maybe they like your attention. Maybe they are being a little bit sensitive. I'm sorry, we've gone through a lot of shifts right now, a lot of water this past weekend. I just started the live like that too, I just went through Scorpio. We just went through Scorpio moon. We had all that Pisces and we had so much going on, right? It looks like your person, give them a little bit of time. It looks like they really do just want to be close to you. And maybe they're just going through a moment, all right? You have Gemini energy, and you have Cancer, Pisces, Scorpio. You have every sign here showing up. So what should you do regardless of what's going on with this person? The Devil card, all right? This is a pattern. Recognize the pattern that you're in with this person. It looks like, your person may be having some sort of breakthrough. Now, whatever's going on with your person, you know, with the moon card and the 5 of cups, it looks like if they just process what's going on, it may actually, you have the Queen of Cups here. So it does tell me that this relationship may deepen. Your person just needs a little bit more time to figure out their own issue, what's going on. All right. And it looks like you could have a breakthrough this week when it comes to this, you know, conversation coming in. I mean, there's a strong bond here. And, you know, it looks like you're dealing with somebody who's completely emotional and you're very grounded right now. Doesn't mean you can't be, but this week it's their turn. All right. So you are being asked to kind of let go a little bit of fear or thinking that something's happening here, because you can see the trigger in here, very karmic energy. Looks like a pattern that you might be dealing with your partner. And if you're seeing a repeated pattern with your partner, you've got to be the one that stays grounded and says, I'm not going to get sucked back into this. Boom. That's it. You can help your person evolve and learn to deal with their emotions, or if they start retreating from you, and if you don't respond to it, maybe they'll realize, hey, I can't keep doing this because it makes my person pull away or makes them upset, you know, but you got to try a different approach. All right. So let's see Aries through Pisces. If you are in no contact with somebody, I'm going to do something different today. We're going to look at the energy that's coming in for each Aries through Pisces. Aries, the World card. So you may get some closure this week with an Aries. It looks like things coming together. You know, closure, it could be we're finally figuring out what's going on, you know, what's happening here, or we are actually finally getting shit together and moving forward. But you could see some movement this week with contact with an Aries. Taurus, 9 of Wands. All right, looks like you're still kind of waiting on a Taurus to respond to you. You know how that takes. You're probably very patient. It looks like you've been through this before with your Taurus, but it looks like they will reach out eventually. But this week, you might be, I don't know, you may or may not. I'm not going to say you won't, but that's usually a setback. Gemini, Knight of Pentacles. All right, so that tells me in time, you know, you may get a small message from them. You may see some movement with the Knight of Pentacles, but to me it says contact is coming in, but it may take a little more time. Cancer, 3 of Wands. All right, so we are seeing progress here with a Cancer too. That could be 3 days. That could be 3 days, or just keep it open because you never know. But it does look like there's some progress happening here with you and a Cancer. It will come around. All right. Leo, I'm seeing 8 of Cups. So you're still being ignored or avoided. They're avoiding you. All right. With a Leo. Virgo, I see the Death card. That might be over. It might be, you know, letting things are changing right now. Now, the Death card says right now it's over. So I don't want you guys walking away being all bummed out. If you know it's over, it's over. But this is saying a chapter's over. It doesn't mean later on something can't change or happen. And I'm not trying to keep you wishfully thinking. But right now it is saying you can't undo what's been done just yet. So grieving process here. Libra, 7 of Wands. All right. So there's still a block with you and a Libra here, but it doesn't mean they won't reach out eventually to speak out. Scorpio, you could get communication pretty quickly with a Scorpio. Right? Things might happen fast, pretty fast, but also remember with that energy, it can happen fast and then all of a sudden it's quiet again fast. So be aware of that. Sagittarius, 6 of Wands. It looks like a yes with a Sagittarius. They want your attention. Capricorn, yeah, it looks like a yes with a Capricorn. It looks like they're realizing how much they need you. They care about you. Aquarius, I see Ace of Wands. So I'm seeing a yes with an Aquarius, potential for communication. And Pisces, it may be too soon. You may have recently just broke up or gone no contact. So I'm seeing that there's still separation here with you and a Pisces. All right, guys. Hello, FG, Bora Bora, Kendra. Hello, guys. Carissa, hello. All right. I'm glad you guys are all here with me today. We're moving into Gemini. 20. Oh, I'm actually doing good pace today. Good for me. You guys liking the pace? All right. All right, Gemini. Good vibes for Gemini. All right. Let me get a good shuffle for you. Don't forget, I'm doing all signs, personal readings after this today on Monday. There's a few up there already. If you guys want to read in, if you need a weekend after this weekend, you just need me to comfort you a little, I'll be there. All right. Yes, these are quicker and to the point. If you want more in depth, I did your weekly live reading. Your weekly reading. Oh, I got Ace of Swords just flew out. All right. So, and I got the Two of Swords. I guess this is where Spirit wants me to stop. Somebody here knows they need to say something to you, wants to talk to you, wants to connect with you, but, can't seem to make a decision, so they could be avoiding, right? Boom. All right, we're done. That's it. All right. I got the 10 of Pentacles underneath that, and I have the Emperor. Some of you guys with the boss, you guys hanging out with the boss, or somebody you work with, or somebody who has a family. All right. Maybe that's why somebody's torn. All right. So, just know for some of you, but that doesn't mean that this is over. The Ace of Pentacles, you got the aces showing up. So somebody really sees potential with this connection. If there's no, take away that first part I just said. If there's no other family situation, blah, 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 if you're not dealing with anything like that, I'm seeing here somebody may be observing you and wondering if this is long-term potential, and that's it. Because you have the Ace of Pentacles and you have the 10 of Pentacles here, which tells me, the overall energy here right now. Somebody's really taking something seriously and they just holding back here, want to make sure that this is what they want. They don't want to play games, right? They might find you very desirable. They're very interested in you, but it's just, I just don't know what I want yet, right? I don't know if logically it makes sense, or if I don't know if I should just listen to my heart, and that's it, right? So let's see what's going on here. Your person, Ace of Swords. I do feel like it's already showing me that they know they need to talk to you. Their biggest challenge, the Page of Swords. What do I say to you? How do I say it? And what do I need to say? How do they view you? The Knight of Swords. All right. Maybe you intimidate this person a little bit, but also maybe they think that you're just in it for the fun ride, right? You're just looking for a fun time. You're somebody that gets bored easy. You like things go fast, exciting, and then you may, it could be, I don't know, I've been getting drive-by today. There's a lot of fast action here. Somebody actually maybe just weighing out whether or not you are somebody that is meant for a good time, have fun, or if we're long-term. It is what it is. Some of you guys may know this. You may be wondering yourself, is this just short-term, temporary, or is this long-term? Bottom line, I'm looking for the questions here, and that's not a bad situation to be in. It's not. I can only imagine how many people used to look at me like that. Am I somebody worth investing in? Because I'm like up and gone. I leave, I go, I travel, I do whatever, and it's like, and I get bored easy. That sounds like a Gemini trait, right? And, I'm a third house stellium. So somebody could be questioned. There could be an age difference between the two of you, or somebody just simply does not know what to say to you. Maybe they think you're super cool. Maybe they weren't prepared for how fast you came into their life and how fast things are moving. Maybe that's just it. Because you got a lot of air energy here. Maybe I'm hearing just slow down a little bit. Somebody might be feeling taken by the situation. And now if you're being viewed as the Knight of Swords, you are over here going, I need some speed. And if you don't get your messages in, you're going to start to go all over the place and want answers and questions and what's up. And you're going to start questioning more and more and more and more and more. And your person is still in this Page situation where it's just like, I wasn't expecting all this. All right, so what's shifting this week regardless with this person? I see the 3 of Cups. All right, so you may find this person reaching out. This is, to me, is contact. It's saying, hey, let's just hang out, let's talk, right? Or maybe you're noticing that they're showing up around you and they're being more playful. So it's a very positive read. You know, if some of you, you know, seriously trying to wait, you can't force somebody to make a decision though. Two of Swords. If somebody's on the fence, I'm going to pull what you should be doing here, regardless of what they're doing. And I see the King of Wands, confidence, right? You just stay confident. Because it looks like here you're waiting for somebody to respond to you. And you got to play it cool. Right? You got a lot of fire and air here. So it tells me that maybe things are moving kind of fast. And that could be the biggest challenge a person is having, is that they don't know what to say or what to do just yet. And I don't care what kind of situation you're in here in the point, but this is a weekly read. And it's like, just let your person reach out to you. And not let it stress you out here, because the Three of Cups and the Knight of Wands shows somebody has very, you know, good thoughts about you, right? They see you, but it shows me very casual. That's the only thing I don't like about this reading, is that it's a very casual feeling right now. Is this just casual? Is this just temporary? Or could this be long term? And if one is thinking casual and the other one is thinking long term, that's going to create some confusion here with the Two of Swords and somebody here not knowing or what to say. Right? So you just may want to slow down and let somebody here, don't rush into this, because if you rush into this, then that could be where you get the temporary relationship. If you want it to last and you're the one that really wants it to last, you know, let it grow. That's all I'm seeing, is let it grow on its time. Because you're taking up a lot of space in somebody's head, right? It's just not moving at your pace. So I do see this week what's shifting is friendliness, energy, a little bit more contact, a little bit more closeness, maybe catching up with one another, maybe hanging out with one another, or just trying to talk. But this does tell me sort of a light, you know, let's keep it light type of energy. So if you're connecting, and I got Aries, Leo, Sag here for you, and I got a lot of air. So, you know, Libra, Gemini, Aquarius too as well. But if you're in no contact with somebody, and you can see, for some reason I wanted to pull that out today, but Aries and you both talking about contact here. So let's look at Aries through Pisces. This is no contact, and I'll see you know, who might potentially reach out to you this week. We are in retrograde, so this is a good time for something like this. So Aries, I see King of Swords. All right. So possibility of hearing from an Aries. If you look at Aries reading too, there was a lot of communication in that reading as well. So maybe you guys are on the same page this week, really talking about things. All right. Taurus, I see the Justice card. So somebody may speak truth this week. So there is potential to find closure, make peace with a situation. You could get your apologies that you're looking for some of you, Aries and Taurus. All right. So I'm seeing yes for contact possibly with Taurus. Gemini, you have Knight of Cups. All right. So I am seeing a lot of communication here with you. And it does look like somebody's, you know, really just trying to be strategic. Somebody's trying to figure out what their next move is. And they could be trying to figure out how they really feel. You know, this is, you know, you got knights here. So you got kind of, this can be player energy too at times too. You know, do I really want this to be temporary, or do I want this to be something more? So there is something bigger happening here, but right now it may seem to you like it really is about the choices we make this week. I see conversation coming in with a Gemini. Hello, Naz and Taja. What's up? And Bernadette. What's up? All right. Cancer, King of Cups. So Cancer here stepping up. It looks like, you know, that's really good energy between you and a Cancer. All right. Looks like two kings showing up here as well. Deepen their feelings with you. So you may potentially get communication from a Cancer. Same thing with a Leo, Queen of Wands. All right. Stepping up for a Leo as well. So you may hear from them. Virgo, Ace of Cups, opening up their heart, right? So there's potential for an offer this week. Libra, Eight of Swords, all right? They may be afraid to reach out just yet, not wanting to get things started yet. They may be still doubting the situation, doubting themselves. It doesn't matter. Scorpio, Six of Wands. You got a Scorpio returning. wanting your attention. Sagittarius, the high priestess, still silence, but they're thinking about you. Capricorn, 7 of Cups. It's a possibility, but it looks like they're still kind of weighing out the options or weighing out the possibilities of what to do, trying to figure out how they feel. There's potential, though. Capricorn, Hanged Man. There could still be silence between you and a Capricorn. Aquarius, looks like communication potential here. Whether you guys are just talking about, what each other needs or what each other wants, or, just getting the truth. Aquarius, I see the Fool card. Could be another start with an Aquarius. Keep in mind, this could be an on again, off again type of energy with an Aquarius. Pisces, 3 of Pentacles, right? So you may hear from a Pisces now, but maybe not this week. If not, you will hear from them. 3 of Pentacles, looks like trying to figure out a way to make it work. And Soul Circle, hello. Glad you guys are here. Please hype and comment under the video when it's done. It really does help the algorithm. Right now, there's a lot of shifts again happening, no matter what. No matter when you get the hang of it or your channel starts to get the hang of it, next thing you know, they're doing a huge cleanup on YouTube right now with all the AI and stuff and the algorithm shifts. And so we go through this every year, and so I don't want to panic, but it does help when you comment or hype, especially from my channel. It does help. And I've only been releasing a couple videos out at a time too, because I think that's becoming heavy too for tarot, even though we all do it. A lot of bots. And it seems to be working better putting only a couple videos out a day, instead of like so many like all of us do because of the Zodiacs. So I just be patient with that, because I'm just testing it right now, where I put out 2 yesterday, 2 out Saturday, 2 tomorrow. And so I will get to everybody, but I think that YouTube's it spams the algorithm when we put out too many videos. And at one point it used to work for tarot readers, but now it's like there's too many. All right, Cancer, 37. All right, Cancer, let's do this for you. Yeah, they're doing a huge cleanup right now. And it's messing too, even with the comments and stuff. If you guys comment in, we get notifications from YouTube. It'll take a minute to clear itself up, but this happens almost every beginning of the year, every year. All right, Cancer. Let's see. I think so too. 6 of Cups. All right. So Cancer, we're looking at your person here, the energy they're in, and then I'll do Aries through Pisces. If you're in no contact, Aries through Pisces is looking at when you might hear from them. And we're looking at this week, if you will or not. So I am seeing, you got that King of Wands wanting to show up a lot today. So we got Aries, Leo, Sag, and we have somebody thinking about you. Somebody think about reaching out. So there is strong evidence here in the cards that you may hear from somebody that you've been thinking about lately. All right. You've both been kind of thinking about each other, and it could be for some of you, starting fresh or just missing each other. I get this energy too. Maybe both of you felt like something was over and done with, but maybe neither of you feel like it is. You guys might find yourselves coming together or talking this week and realizing that there's just still something here. It doesn't feel heavy. It doesn't feel like, I've been pining over somebody, or I've been, really, it feels like a gentle missing you, right? For some of you, really just wanting to reconnect. And when you reconnect, possibly this week, it could be more powerful than you thought. Like neither of you really thought it would be this good, So let's see your person's energy towards you. I have the Four of Cups right now. So you have somebody contemplating, really kind of, if they pull their energy away from you, they've really been thinking about what they want or what they need, because somebody here doesn't look like they've been happy, maybe even for quite some time. So they could be missing you or thinking they're missing the opportunity, or pulled their energy away from you. But this week, it looks like maybe realizing that that wasn't the best thing to do. All right. So what's their biggest challenge? The High Priestess. That speaks volumes. That's your energy. No matter how much this person is away from you or not talking to you or connected to you, they still feel the love. They still feel your energy, still feel your presence. They still think about you. I also get that somebody here may be feeling, there could be really nostalgic about you this week and thinking, did I miss my opportunity with you? Because I really didn't follow my intuition in the past. Wow, Cancer. Let's see how they view you. Three of Cups. You must be having a good time. You must be doing well. And this person, maybe it doesn't mean that you guys had to like leave on bad terms or like something. Maybe you did. I don't know. But it seems like somebody here may be wishing that they could go back to the way things were. They might be seeing you looking good. Maybe you're celebrating some good times. Maybe you're showing a lot of pictures online that you're hanging out, having a good time. You can see somebody who's trying to avoid you but can't. Maybe you're coming up in their feed and they're seeing that they can't avoid you. It just, this could be somebody too that's been kind of isolating themselves for a while. And now they're ready to kind of come out of hiding as well. Especially if they were dealing with depression or dealing with something that they just didn't know what the hell they wanted. All right. So what's shifting this week? I see the Page of Pentacles. This is what's shifting. You may get a friendly reminder that somebody is still around you this week, and somebody here still wanting to establish some sort of connection with you. Now, it may start off very friendly. It could just be, hey, I was thinking about you. But I feel like your person here is wanting to challenge this relationship again. Feeling like there's potential to do, but it has to be done different. We have to do things differently. It looks like this time, it looks like somebody is ready to experience, closeness with you, ready to turn over a new leaf. They're ready. Somebody could be finally realizing now that in the past they weren't receptive to your offer, but now they are. Sometimes, I really feel, and I try to tell you guys these when you're in the moment. I know some of you, when you're in the moment of sadness, you don't really hear me. It's hard. I've been there too. We don't hear when people are giving us the best advice because it just, we're just wanting to comfort our emotions. But the truth is when in the faster we can pick ourselves up and just be ourselves again and go out and have a good time and try to, let somebody be, let them go do their thing and not, attach to it. That's when they see us for who we really are. When they see us crying or down or upset or missing them, that's when they see what they don't want, or they feel guilt for what they're doing to you. And so they avoid you. And when we're hearing that, when we're in a crisis, it doesn't comfort us. We want to be comforted. But if you think about it, you can see that it makes sense. We're more attractive when we're having fun. We are more magnetic when we're having fun. And it's really hard, but honestly, when you're down and out, if you get out in the sun and have fun, that's what helps you, people who love you, your friends. Right. So it does look like here somebody here is wanting an opportunity. What's shifting this week is you may see movement, a conversation. You may be talking about, just something about the past. Who knows? Or maybe you just may be just trying to get to know each other again, even if this is somebody that it's been a while and that is like, hey, I just want to catch up. So what should you do regardless? Justice card. Always stand in your integrity. Stand in your truth. All right, because this can be anybody coming back. It doesn't mean they haven't done you wrong, or it doesn't mean that, they're coming in changed. None of that is certain. Nothing's certain, right? Nothing is certain. But the justice card's asking you to remain with boundaries and in your authentic self and stand in your truth. And if somebody's being honest with you, and you know they're being honest with you. You know, there's a chance to bring this into a balance. There's a chance to finish some sort of get some closure and start something new with somebody. But if they're not coming in right, and you just, you know, you want somebody back in, you see them come back in, don't ignore the red flags. You got Libra energy, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You got Pisces, Cancer, Aries, Leo, Sag underneath here. So let's see, Aries through Pisces. If you are in no contact, let's see if you get any contact this week from each zodiac sign. So Aries, I see, yes, 9 of Cups, right? So it looks like an Aries desires you, wants this, wants you. Be careful though, because that can be very desirable. And if that's what you want, fine. But just know that right now it does look like a selfish like you're the ice cream, the cherry on top. You know what I mean? I want you, I desire you. But that Justice card speaks volumes too. Make sure they're being authentic. Taurus, 9 of Swords, right? You may not hear from a Taurus yet, but it looks like it's weighing on them. You're on their mind. Something they did or said they regret. Maybe hard for them to face you just yet. Gemini, the Hierophant, right? So Gemini, very connected to you. You may hear from a Gemini this week. You know, this could be a moment of change, a breakthrough in a relationship, discovering that you guys really do care about each other. There is some loyalty here. You know, and regardless of what's going on in the relationship with the Gemini, you guys could end up as good friends or back in a relationship. Cancer, 9 of Wands. All right. So this could be it. You know, there's been a long time coming, setback. You know, maybe you've been struggling with a situation for some time, but it does show me here that no matter what, you just pick up and keep going. You got to pick up and keep going. All right. You may or may not hear exactly from your Cancer this week. The 9 of Wands can say you guys have hit a point where there's a lot of fatigue, tiredness, and you guys are still recovering. But there is another go. So it tells me eventually you'll hear from your Cancer. Leo, there's a lot of challenges going on. If you hear from a Leo this week, there could be a lot of conflict, all right? But sometimes this brings change, you know? There could be a lot of drama around you and a Leo. So if you don't hear from them, it could be they're avoiding drama. They're avoiding conflict. Virgo, 7 of Wands. There's still a block between you and Virgo, but it doesn't mean they won't initiate later on. Libra, Strength card, same thing. It looks like they could be holding back just to control a situation, or maybe they feel like it's best to hold back right now. But, you know, there is some healing going on here. So there's potential with you and a Libra here in the future to reconnect. Scorpio, you may hear from your Scorpio. Page of Swords, all right? So keep in mind, they still got you on their mind, all right? Sometimes there's just a delay in messages when it comes to Scorpio. I'm a Scorpio. I can tell you if I have not responded to you, it's not because I don't care about you or not thinking about you. It's sometimes we just went through Scorpio moon, right? I get overwhelmed. I get tired of telling people I don't feel right. I don't feel good. You know, you ever get like that? I just don't feel like it. And so you gotta be like, I just don't feel good, you know? Sagittarius, Ace of Swords. You may hear from your Sagittarius this week. Capricorn, 4 of Swords, still kind of quiet, all right? But give it a little bit more time with that 4 of Swords. Aquarius, Knight of Wands, coming in pretty fast. Aquarius knows what they want, all right? But they're coming in spicy. Pisces, Ace of Wands, same thing. Communication, possibly sparking up something new. Definitely desire there with you and a Pisces. All right, guys. Hello, Karen. How are you? Thank you for being here. Remember, every Monday, 1 o'clock. It's the only time I do all signs. Friday, I may do Friday 1 card pull for each zodiac. I might bring that back. It's just going to be, I'm slowly bringing back the live streams because I was getting to a point it was too much, all the live streams. But Pisces, on Friday, it may be 1 card pull for the weekend, 1 card truth pull. I can't figure out the title yet. All right, Leo. You're welcome, Soul Circle, and Miss Cassandra. Hello. Hello, Forever. And the Floor, what's up? All my lions coming in. All right, we're doing a quick one. Your person's feelings, energy this week, any challenges, and what's shifting their intentions. But for Aries through Pisces, Leo, if you're in no contact with somebody, I'm going to run through Aries through Pisces and see if you'll hear from them this week. All right, Deecha and Bernadette. All right, Leo. Woo, 3 of Pentacles just wanted to stick on my finger. So good energy so far. 3 of Pentacles. Things are going to work out, Spirit wants you to know. Help is on the way. Guides, your guides, right? Or just people, or you and your person. I see the Lover's card, overall energy. All right, so you are seeing love is going to lead. Love, you know, it's like sometimes we don't always make the best choices when it comes to the Lover's card, but we definitely follow in our heart, you know. 3 of Cups, right? So somebody definitely wanting to be with you. They need to make a choice, though. There could be another situation going on, whether it's I need to make a choice. Do we just want to be friends? Do we want to be more than friends? Do we just want to be friends that just sleep with each other? Do we want to be something more? Because obviously I have feelings here. Now, if there's somebody in another relationship, because this can talk about other people, you know, it looks like somebody knows they need to make a choice, or they're just telling me to tell you that, you know, I love you, you know, I'm into you, but we want more than casual, right? We want more than just friendship. So Gemini energy, your person's energy towards you, 9 of Cups. All right, so what's their challenge? There's no doubt that this person doesn't find you very attractive and very hot, or maybe you dress up, you get together, you just stand out in a crowd. I mean, Leos, you love hearing that. We all know that. We all know how to get your tail wagging, right? But you do love it. You do look good in this reading. It's like somebody sees you, right? But we need more than that, right? Is that what you're looking for? More than that. If not, well, you got this. What's their biggest challenge? The Knight of Swords. All right, so let's see how they view you, though. The Hanged Man. So they keep you hanging a little bit, or you know, they need to make a choice what their intentions are. Where are they going, right? Because you're like, nothing's changing. I need some change here. So maybe some of you pulled your energy back a little bit because you know this person wants you, desires you. There's no question here. But it seems like the direction of the relationship is the challenge. You know, on again, off again. You're getting tired of it. All right. You know you can purr, they come crawling. You know that you can whistle, they come hither. Whatever you want. I mean, I don't have that. I'm jealous. I wish I did, you know. Some people say I look like I do, but as soon as I open my mouth, it's over. Right? Um all credibility, everything right out the gate, right out the door, right? So the problem is I think you're getting sick of on again, off again. You know, it's like this is very fast, fun, furious. You know, you get their attention and then it slows down, it stops, right? And you're like, so what's shifting this week? I see the 9 of Pentacles. Maybe somebody's going to ground in on a connection right now. So let's see. All right, I got to pull what you should be doing right now. Besides, I do see this person is looking at you like the Hanged Man. It's like you went slow down. Either you've started slowly pulling your energy back away. You seem a little bit indifferent. You're not even sure where this is going. And even though it's fun for you and you want this person, because I can see a lot of playfulness here, and I can see that you like it. So it's like some of you are like, I don't give a shit, even if there is a third party, I want this person. And when they come in, but I can see though, it's starting to get to you, because even after a while of these types of relationships, you know, you get what you want, you get this person's attention, it starts to weigh on you, because then, you know, you can't build foundation for later. You're wanting something to get a little bit more serious. And, you know, the 9s are showing up here. It's like you're ready for something more solid. This person just might shock you this week. The 9 of Pentacles is showing some grounded energy coming in with your person here. Maybe they're getting tired of, you know, going around in circles. But it feels like they're looking at you like you're starting to let go. So if some of you are letting go or you're pulling your energy away, to me as a reader, that's also saying to me that this is what you should be doing, is pulling your energy back until somebody makes a decision. And this is going to be you avoiding the devil, the temptation, because I know that you want this person and you know they want you. But if you want to get what you truly want, it does look like if you want to see some change, you might have to sacrifice some of these moments where you really want to call this person in. And I'm seeing what Spirit thinks you should do is the King of Pentacles, all right? And this is grounded energy and really focusing on a game plan here with your person. Paying attention to this person, not what they say, because this person can say a lot to get what you want. This person can, the challenge is the Knight of Swords. So your person here, 9 of Cups, they know they look good too. They know you want them. You both want each other, but the problem is there's a lot of talk and no foundation. And this week, it looks as though you staying true to sticking to your boundaries there. You may get somebody actually talking about, maybe we should ground on this because this can be changed. The Hanged Man is, this is getting old. I'm not the same person I used to be. I can't keep doing this. So as they feel something changing with you, they see a new direction. It looks like this could be a huge shift this week when it comes to you and this person. Maybe not everybody, but if at least for some of you, that's a pretty awesome relationship, because not only do you desire each other, this is where you get those relationships where you get the passion and you get the commitment too. And that doesn't come around a lot. All right. So Lovers card. Remember, we're trying to go from more than just friends and lovers. Secret lover. Remember that song? And we're getting to the point where we're starting to choose love. So you really got somebody hooked on you. And they got you too. So I'm not going to say that they don't. You got Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn showing up. You have Pisces energy. But a very strong connection. It looks like this week you guys could be grounding in on something more serious. Now, if you're in no contact with somebody, completely no contact, and this didn't resonate to any degree, I'm going to see if you're going to get any kind of communication with your person this week, right? So I'm really kind of focusing on that with Aries through Pisces. So Aries, I see Page of Cups, right? So you may get some messages, emotional messages, a relationship, starting to develop a little bit deeper. Somebody could be missing you and telling you they miss you. Aries. Taurus, they could be avoiding confrontation with you this week. If you do talk, there may be some arguing. So just be careful. There could be a power struggle between you and a Taurus, or there could be just other people getting in the way and causing conflict. Gemini, the Devil card, all right? So temptation here, all right? Looks like there's a strong sexual temptation, attraction. Gemini will be up in the picture this week, but, it looks like there still could be something else going on, and something's happening with that Devil card, and the Lovers can be a very karmic-y situation. But you guys are still bound to each other, so you may hear from a Gemini. Cancer's still not ready to reach out. All right, there's still doubt in the situation, or just don't know when they're ready to take action. Same thing, Leo, you got the 4 of Pentacles. You got somebody, it's hard for them to open up their heart. But this is somebody that wants to. So you are developing something with the Leo with somebody here, and it looks like the foundation is forming this week, according to the reading I just did. But somebody is slow to open up their heart. That's it. And you've got somebody by the balls. Right? And it looks like you may have somebody open up this week, even if it's just a little bit at a time. I mean, it's going to, for some of you, I hope for all of you that listen to this, but it looks like for some of you, somebody could be, your Leo could be holding back, but there is potential. I still want to connect with you here. Virgo, you got a Virgo coming in, but it could be on again, off again. Be careful of that. But you have Fool card, Virgo coming in. Libra coming in. I see 6 of Pentacles, maybe conversation. This could be, getting back together. Scorpio, these are all upside down. Queen of Pentacles. All right, so they could be doing their own thing. Right? You may hear from them. They might, if you reached out, they might, respond out of respect. But it looks like Scorpio kind of doing their own thing here. Sagittarius, 7 of Wands. So Sag could still, there could be potentially stepping up and unblocking you, but if you guys are blocked, it could be this week, it could be sooner or later, but there is still a temporary block there. Capricorn, I see Knight of Wands. I'm seeing definitely hearing quickly from Capricorn. Things could turn around quickly. Aquarius, Ace of Swords. So definitely communication, clarity, or an apology. Pisces, still going back and forth on what to do. They're still uncertain about where this connection, or if you guys can compromise or figure things out. But you may or may not hear from a Pisces just yet. Woo! All right, Libra time. No, Virgo time. I saw Libra Prime and I was like, it's Virgo time. All right. You're welcome, Miss Cassandra. All right. 101 for Virgo. Hey, so I skimmed about 20 minutes off of these. That's not bad from last week. So maybe I will. Doing pretty good here. All right, Virgo. Thank you, V-Floor. Make sure to come back and comment on the video. It helps the video. Maybe in springtime, I'll come up with a new giveaway or something. Right now, I'm just trying to recoup during this time of the year. All right, Virgo. We're looking at their energy towards you, this connection, their feelings, intentions towards you this week, and anything shifting. I'm doing no contact for Aries through Pisces. So the second portion will be if you're in no contact, I'll see if there's possibility for contact this week. All right. So I have Ace of Cups overall energy. So we are seeing an opportunity for love to show up this week. Love's forming, the doorway's opening, there's potential, somebody to open their heart. This can be forgiveness, reconciliation. It can be new love for some of you. All right. So very good energy around you right now. Something, maybe some information coming in about somebody that you love, that you're connected to. And I see the Judgment. Somebody may be making a huge decision this week. And this could be even, I love you, or I want to give this a second chance. I want to do this again. Right. So we are in retrograde. It does feel like this energy pops through every now and then. Scorpio fire energy here, but a big, huge judgment call around love this week. Your person's energy towards you, the Justice card. Time to get real. All right. Time to be honest. It's time to make things right. And time to speak my truth. What's been the challenge with you? The Seven of Pentacles. All right. Something's been in question for a while. Somebody may have been keeping you kind of in question for a while. What's the future seems to be. Somebody here is starting to see a future. Somebody's questioning the future and wanting more for the future. You got Libra energy showing up here. How do they view you? The Nine of Wands. This is somebody's put you through some hell. Or maybe just kind of a lot of pressure. It just feels like, an uphill battle for you. You may have put a lot of effort into this relationship for quite some time because you knew it was going somewhere and you felt like it was going somewhere, but it seemed like it was very stagnant for quite some time. What's shifting this week with your person? The Six of Swords. All right. It's time to pick things back up and move on to something new. Somebody is starting to see a new location, move into a different direction. It's one of these, we can't give up now is what I'm getting. We can't give up now. It seems like you would never give up on this person, but this person has pushed you to a point where, maybe you have recently just kind of really honestly thought you were giving up totally. It's hard without them, it's hard with them. It's hard to move on, it's hard to plan for the future because somebody's not always being 100% honest with you. It seems like they were maybe only part-time. You just wanted some certainty and some closure. You wanted to know where things were going, and it feels like somebody is about to finally step up and say, there is something here and we need to check out where it goes. We need to follow through with plans. So what does Spirit think you should do regardless of what your person's doing right now? And I see the Devil card. I mean, the Devil card's huge here, Virgo, because it's like this person's really triggered you and triggered. It's a lot of patterns coming in with this person. You've maybe learned a lot of lessons with this person. And this could be a crazy week for you, finally breaking out of an old pattern with a person. This is very karmic-y with somebody. This person may have put you through a lot. And a lot of it was your own battles, your own personal battles. Control, wanting things to work out a certain way, or putting a lot of pressure on yourself or somebody else for a situation. And, the thing is that your work is not going unnoticed. What you put into this relationship is not going unnoticed. Your person is realizing to the degree of what you've done for them, or what you've put in, and maybe even how they've worn you out. So a big week for you. Now, the Six of Swords, what's shifting this week, and the Seven of Pentacles can be the two of you either really deciding that you're ready to move forward, because it looks like your person here really is like, there's something just here. We can't just give up just yet. There's something, this relationship could go somewhere. But also what's shifting is the Six of Swords. If some of you are the Nine of Wands and this person has just really worn you thin, wore you out, some of you may get the closure you're seeking, but may choose to, I want to go a different path. Some of you may give up on this. Who knows? But you are getting that option, it looks like, this week with somebody, seeing where, seeing that the person is starting to look at the future and wanting to make plans here. You were right all along about this connection, but it looks like somebody was battling you the whole way. So if you're in no contact with somebody, all right, and look at the Judgment. Somebody here is like starting to see, what look at the Lovers card. What's been going on here? That's a big one. And Virgo, you've been going through a lot of big changes right now, so that kind of reading right now makes sense for you. If anything, meditate on those cards, or, for the week, because you just went through the eclipse and you went through, this whole past year so far has been with the South Node. There are a lot of shifts and changes for you in relationships, especially Virgo risings, right? But Sun, Moon, Rising, doesn't matter. So I would say this week you're going to start seeing a very difficult situation start to smooth out. So very big. It could be very big, even in, even in your spiritual. All right, let's see. If you're in no contact with Aries through Pisces, let's see Aries. You may hear from Aries, Page of Pentacles. Looks like slow start, but hey, you're hearing from them. Taurus, yeah, you may still have to wait on a Taurus. There's something that happened between the two of you that they're still mulling over. They're just not ready to get over it. Gemini, I see the Three of Wands. So you may see movement with a Gemini, but it's also telling you to keep your options open, because you may be making progress, but it still could be showing up the same way. Cancer, looks like honest communication with a Cancer. Leo, still kind of dealing with how they feel, or they keep focusing on the things that went wrong between the two of you. So you may still feel kind of distant from your Leo this week. Virgo, you have the Queen of Cups. So you have some relationships here leveling up romantically and emotionally, especially with your Virgo, another Virgo. All right. Somebody really realizing the depth of this relationship and the purpose of this relationship. Somebody realizing that they want to commit to this relationship. And that requires a lot of emotional growth. All right. So really, really digging deep here. Libra, 10 of Pentacles, right? You may get some investment this week. You may hear from them, but if they're in a family or connected or working a lot, that's still the problem. That's still what's going on, but they're still invested in this connection. Scorpio, 7 of Wands. You know, there seems to be still a wall up. That can tell me that they are very defensive. So, just be careful. If there's a block, there's a block. But if they let down their guards, just know that there's still tension there between you and a Scorpio. Sagittarius, not ready to take action yet. Still kind of in their head over this situation or whatever's happened. Capricorn, you know, they may take action towards you. They may talk to you, but it still does look like they're focusing on their own needs. 8, 9, 10. All right, Aquarius, King of Wands. Aquarius here, very focused on you and may take action this week. All right, it looks like they're very interested in reaching out. And Pisces, I'm seeing 5 of Swords. So there's still some, you know, uncertainty here, and somebody here not quite sure if they're ready to talk just yet. So you may not, if you get communication with a Pisces, it could be a conflict of interest, or it could be confusing, or still feel like it's going nowhere. Thank you, Karen. All you guys saying I love your readings. If you guys can come back and comment that on the video afterwards, it really helps the video, and I appreciate it. You guys are awesome. Or just hype it if you get a chance to hype it. Queen Tiki, what's up? All right, Libra. We got my Libras. How are my Libras doing? You guys usually switch the energy up around here. So, ooh, 11111, Libra. Nice number. I'm keeping it for you. 11111. Let's take a look at, you know, we got to see what's shifting. That's your number, 11. Libra, Justice. It could also be 8 too. Maybe something happening on Wednesday the 11th. All right, we're looking at your person, the Libra. We're looking at their energy towards this connection challenge, how they view you, anything shifting this week. And then for those of you in no contact with somebody or waiting on contact, I will do Aries through Pisces. It'll be a separate. Just give you kind of a yes or no if you're going to hear from them this week. All right. All right, let's see. Overall energy, 6 of Pentacles. All right, we got the devil here underneath that. So there seems to be a balance to an equal give and take this week. Maybe things starting to feel like they're evening out for you. You know, you may have had a lot of pressure. Maybe you feel like you're giving more to a relationship than somebody else is, or vice versa. It does seem like this week you may notice somebody else actually invest in more time. So things actually changing. Now, somebody could be very strategic with you. So be aware of that. All right. You know, somebody here kind of, it's not necessarily playing games. It's just playing it slow, playing it, you know, one step at a time. You know, they're making the right moves, trying to make the right moves. And so if they're pulling back their energy at times or pulling forward, it really could be just a test. I don't know. People do these things, you know, it doesn't always mean it's manipulation. You know, everybody's got fears and worries and doubts. Am I reaching out too quickly? Am I not doing this? Am I not doing that? What if I do this? What if I do that? It could be that. It doesn't have to be a game. But if we've been played before, you might read it as a game, right? So let's see your person's energy. 5 of Cups. Somebody could be dealing with something that they're still trying to get over. What's their biggest challenge? The 3 of Pentacles. So somebody here, it looks like they don't have the energy, or they haven't had the energy here to really put into this relationship. And maybe you feel like somebody's not on the same page as you. right? It's like there's a very strong friendship support, wanting support, really feeling like they connect with you in that way. But it does seem like the challenge is we're not on the same page right now, right? Or we haven't been on the same page just yet. So if you feel like your person's been kind of distant from you, that's why. It's like I can only give so much right now. Maybe I'm just not up to par just yet. Maybe it's me that's not feeling well. Maybe it's me that's not, you might be in a good place, but maybe I'm acting like I'm in a good place. We never think like that. At least it doesn't seem, enough. But somebody might not have really anything going on. It's just that they're just not feeling well. And they don't have the effort or the energy to give. How do they view you? The Four of Pentacles. Like they see you hanging on there. They might feel like you're a little closed off, Libra. But it doesn't mean that there's not a connection here. But I'm seeing very, very grounded energy. So I'm feeling like, there's something here growing, but it's more like, to me, it feels more like a pattern right now. Or you really got to pay attention to what your person's actions are right now, not what their feelings are. Because their feelings may have nothing to do with you. Their feelings could be of loneliness, depression, disappointment. Maybe they are disappointed in you. Or maybe there is something in the past that happened and this person is still, trying to process their emotions. Who knows? It could be all of the above. But what I'm seeing here is they're still invested. It's just right now, this week, you're not going to get the emotional, fulfillment, or, maybe you're not going to understand them this week, or maybe their actions seem like one minute they're there, they're pulling away, who knows? And so it feels kind of, pay attention more to this person, at least make an effort, because it looks like they're trying to make some sort of effort here. What's shifting this week with them? And I see the Justice card coming up, Libra. All right, so maybe somebody here realizing what it's doing, or finally seeing your truth, right? Maybe somebody wanting to make it right with you or be honest with you and finally open up with you. All right. But this is, to me, it's somebody here maybe not recognizing that they're not putting in the effort, where you might be reading somebody as not caring. Like they're not interested. They're not caring. No, they're not right now. But it doesn't mean that deep inside they don't care. It looks like they're dealing with something, whether it was something that happened between the two of you or not. But it'll only be a matter of time. It looks like this person here is saying, I still care about you. I'm very invested in this connection. And you may get some sort of closure this week, which is, this week will be the week where you finally realize that you may have been worrying about something that, somebody just didn't want to. You're talking to somebody and somebody seems fine. They're not going to tell you that something else is going on. Not everybody does, especially with this kind of energy. It says, I keep my shit to myself. All right. I'm not going to be, and if you start worrying about this person or doing or connecting or start, it's like you're dealing with somebody who blames other people. So right now they could be blaming the whole world for their problems right now, right? Who knows, right? And so rather than connecting with you, they don't want to connect with you. They don't want you to be a part of that, So let's see what you should be doing regardless. I see the Ten of Pentacles. This to me says focus on what you want in this connection. Focus on the end game, right? It looks like you guys are building something here. You guys are 3 and 4 of Pentacles, but it seems to me that somebody has they're given little emotional effort right now for reasons could be different for each and every one of you. Maybe they feel hurt, depressed, regret something that happened between the two of you, who knows? But to me, this is showing me that over time, right now, pay more attention to actions. It looks like you guys are building some sort of system here that could last long term. And it looks like it could turn into a long-term commitment. You're just dealing with some sort of challenge with them right now. My advice, don't read into it too much this week. We've had a lot of stuff going on. A lot of people going through some ailments, a lot of people going through some emotional stuff, a lot of people, maybe even still upset about the past. Maybe they take a week longer than you do to get over something. Who cares? This week is saying you're going to get the truth. and things will start to come into a balance here. You'll start to understand what's really going on with your person. Do you see all these pentacles? This tells me more so about somebody wouldn't be given to you, or wouldn't even be reaching out to you, or wouldn't be trying the least little bit if they didn't want to lose you. So they want you there, they care about you, but they might not be ready to emotionally give to you right now. But that does not mean that this can't evolve into the Ten of Pentacles. So it definitely feels like a different kind of read for you, Libra. So this week, my advice to you is to just try not to read into things too much. Let things play out. It looks like, you know, you and another person here really could be very good for each other too, with all these pentacles here. So let's see, if you're in no contact, Aries through Pisces, let's see if you'll hear from them this week. All right. Aries, Seven of Cups, maybe. All right. They're still a little uncertain. They still think about all the possibilities, but they still are a little uncertain about what they really want. All right. So maybe with an Aries. Taurus, hell yeah. You got a Taurus coming in, the Chariot card. Looks like Taurus is ready to get things going. And this could be fast, very fast energy. Gemini, yes. All right. You guys, there's a strong pull here to be honest with you, right? There could be a deepening of the connection, or whether it's friendship or connection, or just realizing some lesson that they've learned, right? You could just have contact, but I see yes to contact. Cancer, yes. All right. Looks like Cancer here. You're in their heart and they do want to connect with you. You have King of Wands. That's somebody stepping up and saying, you know what? Again, you see pride here with the Kings. So if they're going through something or dealing with something, they're not going to want to like let you know. It's very stoic. Leo, I see yes. It may, if it's not this week, it could be soon, right? The Star card is saying don't lose faith in the connection. Virgo, Ten of Swords, all right? So Virgo may be going through something right now. Things could be clearing up. If you guys just broke up, give it a little bit more time. If they just broke up with somebody, give them a little bit more time. All right. So I am seeing Virgo here, you know, right now it just seems like Ten of Swords. You can't really do much with the Ten of Swords energy. Even if you're in a relationship with somebody and you guys just told each other off and then you're immediately trying to say, I'm sorry, it doesn't work that way. You know, it's the same idea with the Ten of Swords. We both just felt very betrayed, or somebody feels very hurt with something, and they're just not ready to hear the excuses just yet, or they're not ready to make amends just yet. But it does say the worst part's over. Libra, King of Cups. Libra, this is emotional mastery and patience this week. This is really trusting in your magnetism, right? I mean, deep understanding of somebody else's situation. It's asking you to have deep understanding of somebody else's situation rather than yourself right now. Because a lot of us here who are looking for somebody else's feelings are thinking about really our own fears and our needs. And honestly, this week here is asking you to consider that somebody else, may be really going through something, and it's just timing with you guys, but that you will get some sort of truth and explanation coming in. Scorpio, Ace of Cups. Scorpio got love for you, right? You may get an honest communication around love, opening up their heart with you. Sagittarius, King of Pentacles. Pay attention to what they're doing. Again, there's pentacles here, right? So you may hear from them, all right? But it may be slow and steady, but you're getting somebody's reaching out. That's a big win, especially if you've been waiting for somebody for no contact and they reach out first. That's a big, big win. But we tend to want more the second we get it. And we just can't relish in it, marinate in it. But here it seems like something could be starting with you and a Sagittarius for 8, 9, yeah. Capricorn, 9 of Cups. You got a yes with a Capricorn. Capricorn's got love for you, all right? They truly attracted to you, desire you, want this, all right? Maybe they're in a good place. They want this. Aquarius, yes. Aquarius coming back around. All right. Seeking your attention. All right. And Pisces, not yet, but it's coming. It looks like they're still not wanting to face the aftermath with you. They're still recovering, or they're still dealing with some sort of regret. But there could be some forgiveness. You're taking up a lot of space in your Pisces mind. Yeah, so the Aries through Pisces is for no contact for you guys, okay? This one here is for those of you, it can be for anybody, but I was specific about no contact with the Aries through Pisces. All right, Libra. Libra, this is going to be a good week for you. Looks like a very supportive week. It might not be an emotional week with you and your person. Pay attention to the dynamics when it comes to my readings, you know? It might not be an emotional week, but it's going 9 of Swords, Taja. 9 of Swords. You're in his mind, taking up a lot of space with the 9 of Swords, but somebody's still wrestling with their regrets, still wrestling with things they've done, or, you know, shit like that. All right, Scorpio. All right, Scorpio. How are my Scorpios feeling? Mostly sunny, and the snow is almost gone in New England. You guys had a lot of snow. Holy crap. All right, Scorpio. How you feeling, Scorpio? We just went through Scorpio moon this weekend. It's funny because I woke up this morning exact to my lunar return, and I was so sensitive when I woke up. I was like, what the hell? I got plenty of sleep, and what a weekend. You know. All right, but we are in Sag moon now. So let's see what's going on with your person. Let's see the energy, their feelings, how their energy towards the relationship, the challenge they have with you, how they view you, and what's shifting this week. Any intentions? I'll do Aries through Pisces will be for those of you in no contact. That's the Aries through Pisces portion. All right. 10 of Pentacles. All right, so we're looking at a Pentacles energy again here for you, Scorpio. Somebody here seeing your worth, seeing, you know, the potential in this relationship. You know, it's a slow and steady process. So whatever you're working on with somebody here, you know, things do take time. But this card here, we got the Page of Wands here underneath that. So it does look like somebody may be bringing some more value to the relationship, or bringing some more spice to the relationship. But somebody who does see a potential future with you with that 10 of Cups. So let's see your person's energy, the Knight of Cups. Very emotional. Knight of Cups in love with you, though. So somebody here, you know, maybe they just got a funny way of showing it, right? Let's just see what their challenge is. 6 of Swords. So this is somebody that may act chill or kind of brush things under the rug, right? When things get too emotional, when things get too vulnerable, you know, you want to have a talk. You want to, you know, you're looking at a Page of Wands. You're looking at a 10 of Pentacles. Somebody who takes you serious, but somebody here that tries to be fun and flirty rather than, you know, let you know how emotional they are about you. But you can see that you've got somebody's attention. All right, their eyes are on you. But the challenge is they just don't know how to express their feelings, and maybe they're just not as deep or emotional as you are, and it just seems like sometimes they just want things to be surface level, and that's going to drive you crazy. But I will say that your person is not surface level. They just have a hard time expressing themselves. Right. And so you may bring up, you know, certain things, or you may be wondering about what's next. When are we going out? When are we getting together? What's happening? And your person here, you know, it's, to me, it feels like if they didn't reach out to you right away, they act like nothing's wrong. Right. You know, they act like that Page of Wands, nothing's wrong. Right? Maybe they don't want you to realize how much you got them just yet. All right. So let's see how they view you. I see the 3 of Wands. All right. So this is definitely somebody who sees serious potential with you, but they may give you mixed signals. and I get it. That's probably stressing you out. But what I'm getting intuitively is that there's something that this person gives enough aura or energy to you that keeps you around. Because if this person really was not interested in you at all, and I feel like you wouldn't put any investment. Now, we're not looking at a no contact situation here. You'd have to be able to feel like you know something about this person because they do something to let you know that they really care about you. They're just surface level, and that might drive you crazy, but it keeps you still moving forward with this person. I'm gonna tap in on that. You may feel like this person doesn't really understand you, and you actually may trigger this person because you do go deep, but it almost feels like your person acts like they don't get it, but they get it. So this doesn't mean you should shut down or not tell this person how you feel. It's just that at first it may be too intense for this person. Give them a little bit of space, but they always come back because it is hard for when if especially this past weekend, Scorpio, with this moon in your sign. If you were going too deep and you were trying to, it seems like I'm a Scorpio, man. I know what that's like. I'm sitting here talking to somebody and I think they get me. And then they look at me like, where the hell is all this coming from? And that's a Scorpio trait. It's like, what do you mean where the hell all this is coming from? This seems normal to me. I'm just telling you how it is. And they're just like, why is this so deep? But then it takes another person to walk away and go, you know what? Because after a while, I will tell you something about being a Scorpio and the relationships in my life is that you actually teach somebody how to actually see things a little bit deeper. And then they actually start to respect you a lot more. And then they understand you a lot more. So it does take a process. And it seems like you may be going through a process with a person, but it looks like you'll get there because something draws them back towards you. All right. Now, what's shifting this week? Look at this, the Knight of Swords. You're seeing perspective shift. You're seeing somebody really turn around and there's communication, maybe seeing things differently. The energy could really pick up. Maybe somebody will be more expressive, but I'm still getting this eerie energy for your person. So you are dealing with somebody who says, okay, I just dove a couple 100 feet with you for a minute. We need to come back up to the surface, right? But it looks like something could be turning around this week, shifting when it comes to communication. Now, somebody here sees you and sees seriousness with you and does want to connect and does want to move forward. All right, so a lot of movement happening this week. And I will say for you, Scorpio, that maybe somebody will open up and communicate. There is potential for somebody to tell you how they really feel. All right, I might act like I don't care, but your person, that's not true. So think of the Seven of Swords. If this is were the Seven of Swords, think of it as somebody just kind of masking in a way, not able to completely tell you yet how they truly feel, but it's going to show through eventually. So you can only hide your feelings for so long. They'll eventually show you through, actions, or they might make quick changes to adjust this week to accommodate you. Maybe you'll go out and do something. That tells me you guys could end up going on a trip somewhere, going somewhere and having fun. All right. So somebody's really got more going on than meets the eye here. If they're trying to, kind of, tuck things under the rug or, yeah, I get it. No, they really are processing it. What should you do regardless? I see the Fool card. So be ready for another go at a connection. Maybe it feels like, you kind of go through cycles with this person. But it looks like this week here, Spirit's asking you just to kind of keep going with the flow with this connection and see where it takes you. With this energy that's showing up on this table, for those of you that can feel this, you should be able to feel something from your person moving forward. It feels like we don't know where things are going, but yet it feels more serious. It feels like we got something with that 10 of Pentacles. But for some of you, if you're dealing with somebody constantly on and off, on and off, on and off, you really got to check to make sure that, the rest of these cards make sense to you. Like this person does give you some sort of sign that I'm really interested in you. I just don't always get you emotionally. So if you're in no contact with, you got Aries showing up, you got a lot of air showing up for you. and you have water showing up for you. Aries through Pisces, if you're in no contact, yes, they need to sit with being triggered for a while. Thank you for saying that. Because I've learned in my own life that if you expect a response, Scorpio, from your person after you just went deep with them, you gotta pull back. You gotta pull back. And if you feel like they're not getting you just yet, you gotta give them a moment. Because we can trigger people to the core, but if they, in this reading here, it looks like somebody here, you got them. They'll come around. You'll see they'll come around, but you got to give them a minute to absorb what you just said to them. We're so friggin' deep, you know, it's, especially this weekend, like I said. Aries, if you're in no contact, all right, the potential of you getting contact this week. I have Aries, Queen of Pentacles. There is potential for contact, but I do see them still, you know, kind of invested in themselves, focusing on themselves right now. Very independent energy, but you may get contact with your Aries. Taurus, same thing, King of Wands. So Taurus sees a future with you. So Taurus may, you may see a pep in their step. You know, you may see them actually taking action to create something this week, right? Lots of movement here. Gemini, Queen of Cups. That's a maybe. Gemini, you know, doing some emotional processing, trying to figure out their feelings, right? But that does tell me, though, that they have deep feelings for you. It just could be a minute. You know, if it's not this week, maybe you'll hear from them soon. There's still feelings for you. Cancer, Ace of Swords. So within a week, you could hear from a Cancer. Leo, maybe not so. They're still kind of trying to figure things out. Not sure what they want, bottom line. They know you, they see you still there, but it doesn't look like they're reciprocating just yet. Virgo, a little bit more time with a Virgo, but it does look good. It looks like it's going to work out in your favor. Libra, you could hear from them. You know, Two of Cups, you and Libra talking, connecting. And for some of you in no contact for a while, the Two of Cups, I don't like to give a lot of time frames, but when it comes to the swords pages, I mean, swords, fire, and water, I'll say it could be now, within now and 2 months, especially dependent on your situation. Scorpio, you have Three of Cups. All right, looks like happiness this week. You could be hearing from another Scorpio. Reconnecting. That's kind of casual energy too. Sagittarius could be a breakthrough this week with a Sagittarius. Capricorn, maybe. Two of Pentacles in time. It tells me you'll hear from them in time, but things are still kind of up in the air, so maybe. Aquarius, Seven of Pentacles, yes, but a little bit more patience. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. And Pisces, Six of Cups. So they are thinking about you. Looks like you and Pisces could be reconciling. If not this week, it looks like you will reconcile. All right, Scorpio. All right, Sagittarius. I know, I might do it. Under 2 hours. I'm proud of myself. All right, Sagittarius. What's the energy your person's in? Their feelings. All right, their challenge, how they view you. And what's shifting this week? Their intention. Plus, if you're in no contact, I will do Aries through Pisces for those of you in no contact. I'll see if you'll hear from them this week. All right, Saggy. We're in your moon right now. Page of Swords overall energy. So somebody could be questioning things right now, right? That's a good thing, you know, Page of Swords. You know, I got questions. We need answers. Maybe we're getting answers this week. Somebody's thinking about reaching out. Maybe you've been dealing with delayed messages. Somebody's still kind of pondering. Somebody may be holding back a little bit because of uncertainty. And every time you guys talk, because there's still uncertainty, you guys could easily pull each other into an argument, or you may misunderstand each other. So your person may be just trying to figure out what you just said or what just happened or how to say something to you so that you guys are on the same page. Right? I have 4 swords. Right? So it's like somebody, it may feel to you like they're avoiding you, but to me, it feels like somebody's trying to give themselves a little bit of space to figure out what the hell to say to you. You know, so it's just if some of you waiting on contact from somebody, it's been a couple days, or you know, you just met somebody and you're wondering what's up. You know, it's like you're just anxious maybe, and this person here is just uncertain, needing a little bit more time. So that's the overall energy. Let's see your person. 4 of Cups. What's their biggest challenge right now? The Hierophant. How do they view you? The Death card. All right, and what's shifting this week? The 2 of Swords. All right, so what I'm seeing here is somebody not sure it's over yet. Not sure. They're still indifferent. They may be acting uninterested just to give themselves more space. So I'm going to repeat that. You may think it's over. You may be thinking it's not going anywhere. There's a lot of major arcana here. All right. Somebody's very loyal to you. Somebody feels very strongly about you. Somebody feels connected to you. But somebody here is not sure what they want when it comes to commitment again, or not sure what they want just yet, or if they're ready to confront this just yet. So rather than opening up communication just yet, this person is saying, I need more time to think. So this week, it feels like, you know, what's shifting here is maybe a decision, maybe somebody finally deciding to reach out, and those delayed messages are finally coming through for you. But you can't force this. So if you've been trying to reach out to somebody and they're ignoring you, what I am getting is that somebody is saying, I told you I need space and I'm just not ready to give you the answer just yet, or I just don't know what I want. And I don't want you to think I don't want this. I'm just not 100% sure where I'm at emotionally and if I'm ready for a commitment. So what should you do regardless of this? I see the Ace of Wands. You need to focus on the potential. Some of you, this is just happening, or this is new, or you just reconnected with somebody. And as soon as that doorway opens, you're wanting an immediate decision, or you're wanting something to shift right away, right? Well, something is changing, right? But this person here just feels like this person here is just saying, I see you, right? But I just want to make sure I'm clear on what I want right now before I just jump right back in. And maybe just to a relationship. And maybe for you, they're just, you know, what's shifting this week, you know, the 2 of Swords, maybe somebody realizing here that there is more potential in this relationship. They are very attracted to you. They do want to reconcile. They do want to reunite. But the only way to kind of figure out what they want is to take space from you. But it may be hard for you because they know that it confuses you. And you immediately, I can see right now that somebody here definitely does not want something to be the way it was before, if that's the case with some of you guys. Or you're just recently getting out of a relationship and somebody's, you know, you're just getting started with somebody, and some of you just moving a little bit too fast. Sometimes people do that. You meet somebody, you connect with them, you know, you just got ended it with somebody else, and now you're jumping into another relationship and somebody's saying, look, I'm interested. There's a lot of potential here for us, but I just don't know what I want right now for commitment. So if you're feeling your person torn this week, you know, this is telling you, you got to focus on the potential here. Maybe some of you, it's just take a step back. Things are happening too fast. But this is telling me right now that you have pure potential this week for a relationship to actually get off the ground, and somebody here can connect him with you. All right. You know, and you got the 4 of Swords, you have the Page of Swords. I have the 4 of Wands. Somebody really wanted to reach out and connect with you, wants to hang out. You know, I'm getting a lot of early energies. So this seems like it's in the beginning, and maybe some of us thinking too much or getting in our head too quickly or assuming things to be true. And you might just be connecting with somebody who doesn't want to, this weekend could have been a weekend where they just wanted to be by themselves. That's it. If you know your person's chart, this isn't the most perfect way to find out when somebody's retreating, but sometimes when their placements are in their 4th house or in their 12th house or even 8th house, sometimes people just don't know why they need space, but they just need space. So if you can figure out that in their birth chart or their natal charts, if the moon is Scorpio, if they're Sagittarius rising, you had Scorpio in 12th house and you're dealing, maybe you were meant to be alone and processed, It's not perfect way to figure things out, but it is something that I look at, I take it into consideration. And it looks like you're going to be hanging out with somebody, reaching out to you. So you have Taurus energy, you have Scorpio energy showing up for you, Sagittarius, which talks about fixed energy. And if you're dealing with Taurus and Scorpio, sometimes they can go silent and quiet and really confuse you because you're somebody who gets over things quick. Fire, head on, right? What the hell's your problem? Let's go, right? You see a problem, you're just like, we need to find a solution, right? Sometimes you're dealing with a fixed energy like Taurus or Scorpio, and, they can get lost in their own little worlds and kind of hide under a rock, right? So the moon is Scorpio and his sun. But if you can find what's his rising, if you can find out the rising and you can figure out what's in his 12th house or what placements might be happening. Like I said, it's not the perfect technique, but it's definitely a technique that I consider, All right. I always find people are more emotional during those times and people feel more tired. I feel more tired. I feel like I need to be by myself, especially when the sun's in Leo or the moon's in Leo. So Aries through Pisces, if you're in no contact with Aries through Pisces, let's see if you'll hear from them this week, right? I have 7 of Wands. So Aries may still have their walls up. That doesn't mean they won't step forward. There's a maybe here because if there's a block for a reason, but they still feel like they have something to say to you. Taurus, you'll see movement maybe within a few days. All right. They still see potential here moving forward. Whatever's holding them back, it won't be holding them back much longer. So yes, we're Taurus. Gemini, 3 of Pentacles. All right. So if it's not this week, you guys will definitely connect. It seems like you and Gemini have a lot to figure out here. Things could still work between the two of you. Cancer, I see the Knight of Pentacles. You could hear from them very slowly. Definitely, if not, you'll hear from them. But the Knight of Pentacles is a slower energy. The Knight of Pentacles came up in my dream last night. It was wild. Let's see. Leo, I see the 6 of Swords. So things might start to get easier. You may hear from a Leo this week. It doesn't determine exactly where things are going, but things might get a little bit easier between the two of you. Virgo, Knight of Cups, right? So you may hear from a Virgo actually expressing their feelings to you, asking you out. Libra, you could get closure this week with a Libra. So that could be making peace or just finding closure with one another, but, making something right. Scorpio, 2 of Cups, you may hear from a Scorpio. Like I said, this weekend was kind of a deeper weekend for Scorpios, for water signs maybe. Sagittarius, King of Pentacles, they may invest more time. You might see some movement. So I'm going to say yes with a Sagittarius. Yeah. So Sag, it feels like you're going to hear from your person. I just feel like whenever your person goes silent on you or quiet on you, it just feels like your person, it might trigger your anxiety, but it doesn't mean your person doesn't want to talk to you. Capricorn, I see maybe 7 of Cups. They definitely have you on their mind. Aquarius, you see yes, Knight of Swords. Things could quickly turn around between you and Aquarius. And Pisces, I see a yes, the Magician card. So you both want to make something work. You both want to talk to each other. All right, Capricorn. I think so. Because whenever somebody has the sun and, okay, so this isn't a rule of thumb. I'm just giving you what I think in my head when I'm reading charts, as I've been learning over the years. When the sun is in the 12th house, to me, that means somebody who is usually not in the spotlight, even if it's a Leo. It's somebody that might struggle with being seen. You know, they might feel more confident, or people might know them in their inner circle, but people on the outside, they might not be extroverts, you know. And it just, maybe they've just struggled with some karma where they feel like they're never seen, or they're just quieter about their inner world. But they also could live in their inner world. And if they have Saturn there, there's a lot of karma there, and they spend a lot of time there too as well. And Venus and Sun, you know, is relationship stuff, you know, and expressing themselves. They might be able to express themselves in a more, you know, safer place, or more in subtle ways, not so like out in your face. So if somebody's got 12th house, they live more in their inner world, their emotions, and they don't express themselves as much on the outside. It doesn't mean they can't. It's not a rule. It's just what I have picked up on. It's really hard. And it may even be uncomfortable for a 12th house sun to be in the spotlight. Like, they may second guess themselves a lot, or they could have a hard time expressing themselves, what they're feeling on the inside. Just my observations and what I've learned. Nothing is ever, always just take everything into consideration. All right, Capricorn. All right, Capricorn, 155. Let me get a good shuffle for you. All right, Capricorn, let's see their energy feelings towards you, their challenge with you, and what's shifting or intentions, and how they view you. The Aries through Pisces portion is going to be if you're in no contact with somebody. So I'm keeping that a little bit separate. All right. Two of Cups, Capricorn. All right. So two people here this week may be meeting in the heart space, right? Maybe having a conversation, a deep conversation this week about how we truly feel. Maybe something is really a friendship forming, or a deeper relationship forming, right? But it is about mutual understanding again. So this is the overall energy. So this week, the way I would look at this is, you know, in order to figure out the problem you're having with somebody else, you got to figure out what's going on with the other person, right? And so it's like, I've been saying this for the last couple weeks, I think, on and off, but it's kind of like in martial arts. In order to get what you want and win, you got to understand your opponent. So you really do have to try and understand them on a deeper level. Maybe they're needing you to understand them. Maybe they're wanting you to understand them. Because there is feelings here. There seems to be a reconnect or a connect in this week, and feeling a little bit safer, or something building between you and another person. And I see the Hierophant. So you can see this strong loyalty building between you and another person. You know, something feels real this week. So Taurus energy, something feels very comfortable. You know, maybe somebody feels like they want you to know what they really need, but they don't know how to express it. I'm just giving you ideas. Maybe you're feeling the same way, but remember, the way you're feeling could also be mirrored to what your person's really feeling. You know, I'm not getting my needs met. I'm not getting my needs met. Well, we got to find a solution here, right? That's that Two of Cups. Your person, Three of Pentacles, somebody really wanting to make this work with you. It looks like, what's the challenge? Don't get ahead of myself. The challenge, the Eight of Wands, they just want to take it slow. They don't want things to get out of hand. They don't want a lot of pressure. And that's valid. That's valid. I want this to work. I want to make it work. But pressure usually comes from fear. Think about that for a second. Pressure, whenever we put pressure on somebody or we put pressure on ourselves, no matter how you look at it, it's because we're afraid if we don't get it done quick enough, we might not catch it, or we might not get it, or we might not have it. Same thing with when when I'm working out. I think if I hurry up and get the lift over, I'll be able to lift it, so I don't drop it, right? But it usually messes things up when I rush. Same thing with a relationship. We start to add pressure to somebody if we actually fear that we're going to lose them. Or we want things to move faster because we want to feel safer. But we should feel safe already in our own skin. That's the idea behind it. So somebody wants to connect, but just wants everything to, work out in time. Take our time. The challenge is when they feel too much pressure, they may get overwhelmed here and they may feel misunderstood. And then we start to go back and forth, or it feels like an on again, off again, or it feels like we're communicated and then things slow down. So it's just maybe this week is a pressure gauge. Are you reacting out of pressure? Are you texting out of pressure? Are you rushing things out of pressure? Because it might seem okay at first, but after a while, it begins to wear on a relationship. How they view you, the Hanged Man. All right. So they are definitely looking at you as different, and, maybe you are a different kind of person than they're used to. All right. Maybe you're pulling your energy back a little bit. Maybe they just want you to understand their perspective. I got Pisces energy. Let's see what's shifting. The Seven of Pentacles. All right. So what should you do regardless? I see the Knight of Cups. All right. So, this is bring the love, open up your heart, and allow yourself to be vulnerable. But it's also being strategic this week too, like I said, when I was talking about the opponent. If you want somebody to understand you, you got to understand them. That's the bottom line. And also, this is reminding both of you that something is working, but things that take longer to work out actually last longer. So the Hanged Man is looking at your situation from a different perspective. If you're finding that you're still coming from a place of fear or pressure, or feeling like, you're just always feeling like you're going to lose something, you're living in the past and also living in the future, not in the present moment. Seven of Pentacles, what's shifting this week is it looks like your person really wants to work something out, make some plans for the future. But the only vibe I'm getting from your person is, look, I feel you, but the pressure sometimes, I just need you to back up a little bit. And you may take that personal because it may feel like you're coming on strong. And for you, maybe for me, it wouldn't be coming on strong. But for your person, it might be coming on strong. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with what you're doing. It's just the dynamic in the relationship is different than a dynamic that you may have been dealing with somebody else. And everybody's different. And it's not that you guys can't figure each other out over the years. That's a marriage. You start to figure each other out, right? But at first, if you want things to start moving and get working, we got to work with what we got, And your person here seems to have feelings for you, very strong feelings, and they feel you. So it's just about maybe, it's more watery energy for you. Maybe just one step at a time, and opening up and being vulnerable to the possibility that this person actually maybe does care about you. But they just show it differently. But that doesn't mean that you give without getting, all right? So there's a different story here. That doesn't, people will read into, I can't help how you guys interpret what I'm saying. I can't, So I'm not saying here, anything like that. If somebody's not showing up for you, this doesn't mean give your heart more. This person in this reading is showing up for you. And this week it's evident. So if you got an Aries through Pisces and you are in no contact, let's see if you will. This is going to be totally different. Let's see if there's going to be no contact if they'll break the contact with you this week. Aries could step up and break contact, right? Looks like they're spicy, wanting to have some fun, wanting to connect. Taurus could be an offer this week from a Taurus. Gemini, looks like conversation. The Magician, you both want to make it work. Cancer, could be a breakthrough, right? You could end up hearing from them. Tower means the truth coming out. So whatever the truth is for you guys, but you could hear from them. Leo, still hiding, still not ready to open up. Virgo, still waiting. There is potential though. It looks like they want to reach out. It could be, this week or next, it could be sooner than later. Libra, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah. Libra, temperance card. Give it a little bit more time. This is talking about going with the flow. Things will work itself out. Scorpio, same thing. It's like there's a chill energy here with Libra and Scorpio. Feels like, there's potential, but, just give it a little bit more time. The Cancer energy can sometimes back up a little bit when they're trying to figure things out, but they'll come forward. So Sagittarius, I see Wheel of Fortune. So there is a chance for Sagittarius to come around this week. There could be a repeated pattern, but also a chance to do things differently. Capricorn, you have the Empress card. Somebody very attracted to you. And you obviously see that something's working out between you and another person. But the Empress is telling you to remember to stand true to your value and root and ground yourself this week. Okay, so this isn't a week of you pursuing. This is a week of you receiving and nurturing and understanding. Right? So that will shift the dynamic in the relationship that you're in. You want somebody to show up. Aquarius, 10 of Cups. Right? You may hear from Aquarius this week as well. And Pisces, you may hear from a Pisces, 6 of Pentacles. So it's like a lot of good energy coming in for you this week, even around no contact, Capricorn. Thank you, Shirley. Absolutely. And is it Mitzi or Michi? Mitzi. I see Mitzi. All right. The house, wait a minute. I get that part, but not the sign in the house. Think of the houses just as each chapter or a component in our life, our identity, how we get our needs met, our resources, how we connect to others, how we connect to our home life, our parents, our ancestors, how we connect to expressing ourselves, love, dating, sex, creativity, how we work, how we connect to every day to day. That's house 6, pets, coworkers, life, everything we do, our schedules, how we connect in relationships, us versus others, the 7th house, and so forth. And then the sign that's in those houses gives you the idea of like how the person expresses that through. So if it's Leo, somebody could be, very expressive in those houses or needs attention in those houses. Maybe I will do. I'm hoping to do a revamp, Angel, in the spring. Usually, I'm working on a revamp in January, February, but I've been recouping. So springtime, I really would like to do something different with the membership, not always just questions. And we will work on something like that. Maybe do questions a couple times a month, and then do a workshop or something to help you understand your chart a little bit more, at least to the level I do. I'm not trying to, this is just the way I do it. All right, Aquarius, 203. All right. All right, Aquarius. Let's see their energy feelings towards you, their challenge, how they view you, and what's shifting this week, any intentions. And then I'll do Aries through Pisces, but I will look at no contact for Aries through Pisces. So if you haven't heard from your person, I'll see whether you're going to hear from them this week or not. All right, you have the Three of Wands overall energy for the week. So it does look like things are moving forward. Things are looking good. This is always an energy of let things breathe, kind of open up. You know, you may get some connection this week. You may feel like things are moving, progress is being made. But it always is a reminder to be open to expect the unexpected in a way. You know, most of us are expecting exactly what we think is going to happen because of patterns, right? But this card is asking you this week to pay attention to what you're expecting, because oftentimes we force the universe to give us what we expect. So expect things to actually grow, expect things to look good, expect the best, expect things to turn out for you this week, because there is potential. And I see the 10 of Cups, and you're seeing here underneath that is that things are coming together, and there's maybe getting together with somebody. Maybe you are working on the beginning stages of what could turn out to be your happily ever after, right? The 10 of Cups here, somebody's got feelings involved. Somebody's pretty serious about you, serious about the connection. But depending on where you're at in the making of it, you know, it depends on how they show up. So their energy, Four of Pentacles, and there it is. You got somebody here that's a little bit hard, like a sardine can, you know, you got to peel it open, right? Sardines. Does anybody even like sardines? I knew one person in my life that liked sardines. I don't know why I said that. But you got somebody here, Aquarius, that is hard to crack open. You know, sometimes this is a losing battle when you meet people that are just not emotionally expressive, but you're very emotionally expressive and you want them to be emotionally expressive. You gotta decide, you know, do you want to meet somebody who's just like you, or do you want this person? Because somebody just may not be as easy to open up their heart as you are. What's their biggest challenge? The Justice card. This person doesn't even know how to be 100% open and honest about their feelings, right? You know, it's just like, I'm not lying to you. I'm not being dishonest with you. I just am very, a lot of you guys, some of you guys out there are like, oh man, I would date you, Frankie. Hell yeah. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. No, you wouldn't. Maybe for a minute. Like, I'm telling you, like, people can be very complicated, right? And you may look at this energy. You can look at this energy. If somebody's given off this energy to you, you can find all kinds of reasons why there's got to be something wrong with it, or there's something wrong with them because you feel like they're not being honest with you. But really, on the flip side of that, is this person that might even be making somebody more scared to open up if you don't even believe them at this point. You know, there's just so much sometimes. What we think is justice, another person doesn't quite see it that way. Not everything seems just and fair. And you're dealing with somebody where it's just like we express ourselves differently. Let's see how they view you. The Temperance card. All right. Let's see what's shifting this week. I see the Knight of Cups. So maybe you are getting somebody here, it just takes them a little bit of time to warm up to you. And it's one of these things, like, if somebody doesn't feel heard or somebody pulls their energy back from you, all they're saying is that, look, I need, you're taking me out of my comfort zone, and you've already taken me further than other people have. So that's a win for you. So if you just kind of, the Temperance card, it's like your person just wants you to have patience with them. Enjoy the moment. See where things are going, right? It looks like you've got them invested in the connection, but this is somebody who really opens up over time, and they already may be opening up big time to you, right? And maybe it's not enough for you. And that's why this card here is saying, keep your options open. Just because this person is showing up for you closed off a little bit doesn't mean this person couldn't eventually open up to you. But if you're putting all your eggs in this basket and you're just trying to get this person to peel open, you're defeating the purpose here of this relationship and learning this relationship, because this relationship could work out over time. And the less you need this person to hurry up and open up, the more they'll open up on their own. But you'll also learn that if you let go a little bit, if this person isn't for you, somebody else will come in. And if they are for you, you'll see that it starts moving when you put less pressure on the connection. All I'm seeing here is somebody here doesn't like to be forced out of their comfort zone. And if we're constantly needing to know how somebody feels, and I'm a water sign, if I need to know how somebody feels, or I'm not feeling I won't necessarily ask somebody constantly. I won't be like, tell me how you feel, what's going on anymore. Maybe when I was younger, but I'll pull away because I do need emotional validation, just like a lot of you do. And if you're connecting with somebody who's not giving you enough emotional validation, that's not a character flaw for them. It's just the way they are. It's not enough for you. It looks like your person's trying to. And I even see with the Knight of Cups, you see them really trying to. But that's where, again, let's see what Spirit thinks you should do. I see the strength card. You have the option here of just trusting in the relationship and going at this a little bit more gentle, not coming on to this person so strongly. Maybe when you're feeling emotional, maybe this is more self-control. Maybe you feel like this person pulls away and it just intensifies your emotions. This is saying just ground yourself. You're building a bond here with this person, but you're dealing with somebody who's completely different than you. Now, it could be reversed. I could be reversing it, but there is potential for this. But this is all about self-trust and confidence in the situation that this person really does, But I'm telling you, as a tarot reader with the three of wands here and this temperance card, if you don't have the patience for this, keep your options open. And you will see that by doing that, you'll invite more options into your life, but you'll also ease up the pressure on this person, and they may open up even more once they just feel the pressure off. Look at you, there's potential. So let's see Aries through Pisces. That's the energy that's coming up this week, that's coming through. We are seeing movement, possible date, maybe you guys even making plans. All right. So if you're in no contact with somebody, though, I'm going to do Aries through Pisces and see what could be coming up if you're going to hear from them. Aries, yes, looks like you could hear from an Aries this week. Maybe some of you weren't even expecting it. Taurus, I got a yes, Page of Cups. Right? Looks like you guys could be establishing a new kind of relationship. Gemini, yes, returning, wanting your attention. Cancer, maybe not. Maybe they're not ready. They're still trying to figure out what they want. Leo, still indifferent. All right? They don't know what they want yet either. So it could be a maybe with a Leo. Virgo, could also be a maybe. Sometimes it's a no with this, but it feels like there's too strong of an attachment between you and a Virgo. One of you will make it happen. If there's contact, one of you will try and break it. Libra, maybe, same thing with the Devil card. It's like things are still a little uncertain. Things are still kind of changing. Just expect the best, when it comes to your Libra. Scorpio, I see no. I see 5 of Cups. They're still hanging on to something that happened. Sagittarius, I see yes, the 2 of Cups. Capricorn, I see yes, the 6 of Cups. All right. Really thinking about you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That was Capricorn. Aquarius, I see yes, 6 of Swords. And Pisces, I see no, 5 of Swords. If there's any conversation or contact with a Pisces, it may be confusing, or you may get the same shit different day. But I am seeing possibly no contact yet with a Pisces. All right, Pisces. Happy birthday. So I did do better with time today. I'm glad. Thank you, Hope. All right, Pisces. Pisces. All right, let's see. All right, Pisces. We're looking at the overall energy this week. We're looking at your person, feelings, how they view you, the challenge with you, and what's shifting. And then for Aries to Pisces, I will do those of you that are in no contact. I'll see if you get contact with them this week. So the overall energy is the Hermit card. All right. So somebody really maybe reevaluating, solitude in their own space, needing space, time. There's been some distance, or you feel like somebody's being distant from you. All right. The good news about the Hermit card is that somebody is just really trying to figure out what they really need, what they really want. They're kind of solo, introverted, just need some time, and they're trying to figure out what's best, right? What's best for everybody that's involved, right? And I have the Three of Swords. If you've had a recent separation, or you feel like somebody, if you just recently, said something, or, you feel like somebody's distant from you, don't assume that this person isn't hurting, or this person isn't just processing what's happened. Sometimes we break up, or sometimes something happens, and you got a King of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. You have somebody who's saying, I care about you. Something's happened between us, but I need more time to really figure out what's going on so that we don't do it again, so we don't hurt each other again. Right? It may be too soon to reconcile if you guys just broke up, or if somebody just got out of a relationship, Pisces. It may be too soon for somebody here to jump into a relationship. But you can see a King of Pentacles, somebody here who will show you this week that they're interested by their actions. It's just you're dealing with somebody who is kind of a loner, or maybe older, or somebody that's a little bit different, maybe very focused. They don't necessarily, maybe they don't seem like, they're just very responsible, very serious, but maybe they are not very, they just seem serious. But maybe this person could, surprise you. But the quietness could be what's disturbing you. You just feel like, things are kind of quiet between the two of you. Let's see their energy towards you. I see the Six of Swords. What's their biggest challenge right now? I see the Knight of Pentacles. This to me, it feels like they're stuck on where this is going, or where this could go, or if it's going to go anywhere, right? There's a pause in your path, Pisces. But your person here doesn't want it to stay like this forever. There's a roadblock. How do they view you? The Ten of Swords. And what's shifting this week? The King of Wands. So I got Aries, Leo, Sag energy. What should you do regardless? I see the World card. All right. You've got to let something be, is what I'm getting right now. If some of you're worried about if you just recently had a breakup with somebody, or you just broke up with somebody and you're trying to connect with another person, your person here, it just feels like they move very slow in a relationship, and they're very cautious, and they're not going to just jump right in, especially with this Ten of Swords showing up. It's like, I see potential, right? The Six of Swords. I want to see where things go. But the challenge is we need to take it slow. This week, though, it does look like you got somebody here that wants to, step up and be a little bit more authentic with you and be open. You may hear from somebody this week, fire, things are getting, something's picking up with you guys. But it feels like no movement to you stresses you out. You don't like when this person doesn't seem like they're moving at all. Or they're quiet. When this person goes quiet, it really stresses you out. That could be because you've been hurt recently. And you lack confidence in this relationship with this person. What I'm seeing here, the World card for you, right, is that you've just recently had some big ending or something changed in your life, and you have something new happen in here in a relationship, a new opportunity happening for you. So the World card can say, let it integrate, let it be. Maybe you just had some little movement with the person. It looks like the Six of Swords. This person is trying to keep it kind of light right now. I just want things light right now. I don't know exactly what the plan is, but I definitely want to see it go somewhere. Maybe they're just a little bit anxious if you guys just are getting back together, or if you both are just coming out of a relationship. And this is saying be comfortable with no movement, because there is things moving behind the scenes, but you're not seeing it. So you feel like something's not working. So this week, I see your person actually taking action towards you, which could soothe things up a little bit. It's a fire sign, somebody very interested, but to be honest with you, it's somebody who's trying to keep things running smooth. I just want to kind of, take it as it comes right now, but not like a fool energy. You have the Knight of Pentacles, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn. So it tells me somebody who's a little bit more serious about a future, but they're not going to rush into anything. Not with this energy that's showing up. Virgo energy, Taurus, Capricorn, Aries, Leo, Sag. Let's see Aries through Pisces. If you're in no contact with somebody, I'll see if they're going to reach out to you this week. Aries, you have the Page of Cups. It looks like a yes with an Aries. All right. You may start to build on a new relationship. Taurus, there's so much potential this week. I see communication, maybe wanting to work it out with a Taurus. Gemini, possibility. All right. You may connect with them. Things look like they're moving forward. Cancer, they're returning to connect with you. So you may get a return, a yes. Leo, maybe not. Five of Swords. If you do hear from them, it could be more frustrating or it's the same, nothing changed. Virgo, the Death card, maybe not from a Virgo. Things look like they're kind of over right now. Libra, definitely hearing from a Libra. The Lovers card, right? Could be deepening the connection. Scorpio, maybe not yet, but it looks like it's coming in. Sagittarius, one of you is going to reach out to the other. It could be you, could be them, but nothing's really changed. Capricorn, yes. All right. Looks like in the future, though, just don't lose hope. It could be this week, could be next, whatever. It just says yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Aquarius, I see yes. 8 of Wands. Things could come out of nowhere. Pisces, I see yes too. So Pisces, you have a lot of movement this week. So you got trust in spirit here, and it looks like something new beginning for you this week, but uncertainty might get to you. I love you guys. Hopefully you like my readings. Let me know. Hopefully you understand where I come from. I like to read the dynamics to help you out. And I will see you guys I might change it to 4. All right. Thank you, Jeff. All right. I might change it to 4 o'clock if you guys want personal readings. Right now it's at 4:30. But I think I'm going to change it to 4 o'clock. Thank you, guys. See you later. And I will see you around 4 o'clock. Take care.